it all happened one day when I was lying in the bath and I was reading one of these novels, and I suddenly thought, God, P.G. Wodehouse is really talented. And then I thought, actually, do you know, I'm really talented as well. and then I then phoned up my brother, who's quite talented as well, and said, why don't we write a play? So we did, and we gave it to a producer, and he said, God, you guys are really talented. The producer then said, I think we should put this on. So all we need is some talented actors, talented director, and we're away. So he hired Stephen Mangan and Matthew McFadden to act, and a guy called Sean Foley to direct it. And we put it on, and then we had another cast with Robert Webb and Mark Heap, and we had them on, and people just went, God, you guys are really talented. And so they gave my brother and I an Olivier Award. There you go. Sorry, Thea, where's Thea?
Yes.
Oh, there you are. Sorry, you've just written me a message, which I'm just reading here, which says, your brief is to tell the story of how an underachieving no-hoper got to win one of the most prestigious prizes in the theatrical world. Sorry, okay. Does people know Joseph and the amazing Technicolor Dreamcoat? Anyway, I was on stage doing Joseph and his amazing Technicolor Dreamcoat, singing Go, 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 Joseph, you know what they say. Hang on now, Joseph, you'll make it one day. Come on now, Joseph, you're doing fine. Da-da-da-da, ahead of your time. And I just thought, I've got to give this a miss. So I gave up acting altogether and went to become a school teacher. When I started, I got the job very easily, and I thought, this is really weird. How have I got this job so easily? And it was only sort of 6 months into doing it that the head teacher came up to me and said, the reason I've employed you is for your theatrical skills, because we're putting on a musical, Joseph and It's Amazing Technicolor. So I thought, no, right, okay. So I left that job. And then sort of meandered around. So it really has been a very meandering life, I'm afraid, and it's I can't recommend that in any way, but that's just what's happened to me. And something had to give. And weirdly, I went up to my cousin's wedding in Edinburgh, and I just suddenly thought, God, I've never been to the festival here. I wonder if I should put on a one-man show.
No, but you can't get away from the fact that Jesus' idea is pretty sound. I mean, in a striking costume like this, I might pull off something pretty impressive. I mean, look at newts. During the breeding season, the male newt becomes brightly coloured.
Yes, but Gussie, you're not a male newt.
Yes, but I wish I was.
Well, if you were, Madeline Bassett wouldn't look at you. Well, not with the eyes of love, anyway.
Yes, she would, if she were a female newt.
But she isn't a female newt.
No, but supposing she were.
Well, then you wouldn't be in love with her.
Yes, I would, if I was a male newt.
20 years later, Mark Goucher, who had produced the shows, met my brother at a dinner party, and he said, sorry, I know this is meandering, but this is just to explain. Some people go to Oxford and write plays. I didn't. I spent 30 years trying to do it. But anyway, and he said, would I like to revive my one-man show? And David said, no, he's far too old to do that. And he was right. But he said, I'll pass that on to Bobby, which he did. So I then went to see Mark Goucher. We talked about it, and he said, why don't you make it a two-man show? And I said, yeah, great, okay, I'll make it a two-man show. And I thought, well, that's Jeeves and Worcester. And then our first task was, we were just thinking, so how are we going to make this work? And actually, we suddenly realised that my one-man shows were not rubbish, but they were completely untrue as to what Bertie Wooster would do. Bertie Wooster, if he hired a theatre and started to do what I'd done, would dry up within seconds. So the fact that Jeeves is there, if you've got Jeeves in the show as well, it's suddenly we realise that a whole other dimension could be added to what I've been doing before. So we realised that after 2 minutes, he would dry up. So he calls on Jeeves, who he knows is in the building, and Jeeves comes on, and of course Jeeves knows that it's all going to go wrong, so he is at the ready to play all these different characters that are going to be in the story, and to produce all the scenery that is going to make it work. Right? There's nothing better than having a great idea, because what happened was, after that idea, we were inspired, we came up with things, we then gave it to our director, he came up with things, he fed them back to us, and then actors came in, Stephen Mangan and Matthew McFadden came in, they came up with fantastic ideas as well. So it just blossomed and it just completely flourished. I suppose that's how I came to write an Olivier Award winning